What Reggie Rice say, Dr. Dre whooped Suge for the chronic after all and beat him. You know, the legendary story is Suge whooped Dre for the 250 million and got on and had to rebuild with Jimmy Iovine. I don't know if that's part of this story, but Reggie talking about really Dre whooped on Suge. When I say whooped, I mean whooped him for that bag, for that bread. So with no further ado, we finna see what Reggie say Suge and Dre ended up being up to.
Can you talk about this thing that, artists are talking about where there's this 30-year clause that you get your masters back?
Yeah, I think there's some one-time thing that will happen because of something, there's some contracts or something like that. I never heard it, I'll be honest. A lot of people talk it, so I'm not saying it's not factual, but it'll be a lot of rich old motherfucker broke Slide and their families and all these motherfuckers would be rich right now, right? If that was true.
Yeah, that's what throws me off is like, so the best way that we can relate to it to talk about it is how Dre got the chronic back last year.
No. Oh, yeah. Dre got it back because
it's like, yeah, his lawyer was quick to say, no, Snoop doesn't own the chronic. And now Dre is doing this big promotion around the chronic where they're selling merchandise and re-release CDs and tapes. And you can buy like replicas of the reels and all that stuff on that Interscope site now. They still include the Death Row logo. But that's what throws me off is like, how did he get that album back?
I'll tell you.
It was exactly 30 years.
Okay, I'll tell you, all right. It wasn't because of the 30-year rule. What happened with Dre is, when I was in there, this is why they fired my ass from E1 Entertainment. This is what happened. Dr. Dre.
Reggie crazy. He try to act like these are organic conversations. Like these ain't preset questions. Shout out to John, shout out to Reggie, shout out to the whole Brown first. But he doing his little acting bit like he's surprised to hear this and he has to really gather his thoughts when he know what he finna say.
Left Death Row, right?
If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Recently, a jury for apps spoke the recent historic vulnerable for the harm they've caused.
They sneak that shit,
right?
right?
The paperwork talked about how Suge ain't gonna never have to pay him any money and give him anything and all of that. Meaning the assets of the company at the time. David Kenner asked, either, because I always tell y'all, criminal attorney, not entertainment attorney or whatever. Fucked up. With David, you never know, purposely or not purposely. And left it where it didn't talk about royalties from the chronic. It just talked about his part as a owner of the company, not as an artist or producer. And so I got a letter in like 2001, 2000 from his attorney. Sandy Fox was the main attorney, but that wasn't his day-to-day attorney. Forget his name. Howard King. Well, Howard King and I had a great working relationship because we was always getting sued, mainly when Laylaw and them sued us for California Love and stuff. And so we go, Reggie, y'all owe Dre some money for royalties from the album sales since he left of the Chronic until now. I was like, no, Howard. Dre left, he don't get nothing. So I go take it to Suge. Hey, Dre, no. Oh, that motherfucker don't get nothing. He left the company without no money and all that. But Howard was like, no, that's from making money off of his profit from the share of the company. Not anything to do with his royalties from the Chronic. And listen, no. All right, we're gonna sue y'all. All right, well, do what y'all gotta do. Dre hitting home runs now. Eminem and all of that. Dre like, fuck it. I ain't fucking with Suge. Dre never tapped that Suge. He always, because he knew Suge. He knew Suge good down from back in the day. He was like, left it alone, right? So Dre left it alone. All right, Suge, fuck it. Never sued, nothing. We never heard anything about it. So now E1 got it. Koch Entertainment got it. And then later on, E1 got it. Now the company goes through bankruptcy. Now all this money is making money, some new stream money off of ringtones and downloads, you know, streaming money. And so Dre like, hey, and the master recordings from CDs. Suge don't own it no more. So Dre don't give a fuck. Now he goes and sue E1 Entertainment. Hey, E1, y'all been over there collecting money. Y'all been the distributor since 2001 or 2002, actually, January 2002. And we want back pay.
I remember when those negotiations was going on and Suge had to be on the phone, having conference calls back then. When he had business conference calls, they would be patched in through the office and Said would be responsible for patching him into the people often. And I'd be playing Madden on the PlayStation with Said, and he'll be multitasking, and he'll be having to keep Suge connected to this conference call. But we playing the Madden game, and since he got to monitor the conference call, he used to put it on speaker. So we playing the game, and he got to pay attention in case he got to do something to assist Suge on his call. And so I would just overhear a lot of the negotiations when he changed his name from Death Row to The Row and did that deal with E1.
For this album. E1 like, Reggie, hey, what's going on? I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I don't work with that nigga no more. Come on now, we still paying your ass. What's up? What's the paperwork? Well, we always, you know, this is what we believe in, this and this. Well, where's the paperwork at? So I give him the separation agreement. Hey, Reggie, this contract don't say y'all don't have to pay for royalties on the chronic or anything. It just says he don't make any money, but he still get his percentage, you know, for producing and working on the chronic and all that. Well, we ain't paying that nigga nothing. But that's on y'all. That's y'all money now. So now all this money that's been generated, he didn't sue from 1996 until 2001 because it really was with Priority and Interscope. He wasn't fucking with their uncle, those his people. But he sued E1. So by this time, it's like $5 or $10 million that's owed to Dre. You know, from downloads and all of this stuff. And so this case went all the way up when they were in negotiation and in courts. I got fired in like 2018. So this went up to about 2017, 2018. And money is still being generated as well. And so what happened was, now it's looking like E1 owes Dre like $10 or $15 million. And so they was like, oh man, 10 or 15, that small independent company for that chronic, they were like, oh. So they made a deal with Dre from a certain date to wipe out all that debt and gave him back the chronic album from that date whenever he got it from that period. Is what happened. So that's how Dre got the chronic back.
So he didn't get it directly from Suge. That's a good little history. I'm glad we took a chance to check that out. He was patient, left it alone. It shifted hands. He didn't want to deal with trying to press Suge, or he was being benevolent to Suge. He wasn't going to go the Suge route. But once it fell into old Alan Grunblatt hands, he like, I need that. He used to dealing with those types. Alan Grunblatt, Jimmy Iovine, very similar in stature, physical, demeanor, you know, not aggressive, not coarse, callous at all. And Dre ended up with it. That's crazy.
Get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
Hey, Nip Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.